share the Okay. Well, first, I want to welcome you to the 2022 Mix 18 and Over Captains Meeting, just to make sure that you are in the right place. And I really want to thank you for taking the time to attend this meeting, because this is really one of the busy times for you guys, because you have the year-end rating coming. You're running around to get players, to replace players, and then you have the holiday season that the whole month is pretty busy. So I really appreciate you guys being here. And said that hold on a second. So tonight we have with us Christy Bennett. She's the section league coordinator. There she is. Peter Schutter, he's the section league manager. Peter, are you there? And Lance Anderson, he's the president and the chair of the Eastern Mass State Association. So he's with us too. And myself. And you can see, we have the different email address for everyone, just in case you have any questions or want to get in touch with any of us. Oops. Let me see, hold on. So this is the Eastern Mass USTA League overview. The general email address is the EMA-league@newengland.usta.com. I know that some people, they still send me emails to the EMA mass@gmail.com. And I don't check that email address as much. So I encourage you to just use this email address, the EMA-league. And then another link that is here is the where you can find all the information about the leagues, the Eastern Mass USTA League. This is our clickable links. So in this presentation will be shared with all of you, so you can save the links in a folder, so you can access quickly. There is the link for the USTA New England, for the USTA Nationals, and also the link for the Facebook group for the Eastern Mass, which we encourage the people to join. You can send me once you click on that, I will receive that you would like to join, that you just get accepted and you're part of the group. It has a lot of good information, about the leagues and other things. And also the Facebook group Captain. This is a very super active Facebook group, right, Christy? So
yes,
this
it is.
Also for the new captains, you can click on this USTA-New England Captains, and you can join the Captains Facebook group. It's a lot of back and forth and conversations. Some of them very interesting and a learning experience too. So then we have some local business. I have a new phone number now. So this 508-321-6195. When you call, can I say, how it works, Christy? Or is it, it calls the office, and they, even though I'm working from the house, it just gets forwarded to my phone here. So that's to change the old phone number that I have to change it to this number now. And once I get it again about the email address, and also beside the Mix 18 and Over, we also have a league that is starting in the winter, more or less at the same time. Is that adult 18 to 39 league. If you know of anyone that is within that age group, you can share you can send me an email, and I can send you the link where they can join the league, or let me see, or they can email me directly, and I will send them the link to EMA-league. So and I will send them the link to get more information on how to join the league. Also on Tennis Link, and I will go over later, how to change your profile if you change your mailing address, your email address, or your phone number, how to change your information on Tennis Link. And it's important to have this information because let's say that a national has a promotion and they will use whatever information is on Tennis Link, even at the section level, all the information that they will send, it will be to the address that is on Tennis Link. But it's really important that the information that we have there is the correct one. And I know at other times we have talked about the following documents: the EC reference guide, how to determine the winner of the match when time expires, and extra time versus no extra time. And I really encourage every captain to tell their players to carry these documents with them in their tennis bag, because there will be times where they're in a situation and they don't know how to end a match, and all these documents will help them to do it. The first thing that I think they should do is read extra time versus no extra time. Because once you read it and you understand it, when you go to determine the winner of the match or where you are in a situation, you will know what to apply, to end a match, properly. Because if you, it makes you understand how it really works. So I recommend that you read first extra time versus no extra time, and then how to determine the winner of the match when the time expires, because they give you several options at where you are at, what you need to do. So it would be easier to understand it, how it works. And with the easy reference guide, I mean, they have a lot of situations, how to play a tiebreaker and things like that, that will really help to find information quickly when time is going to be running out. And then we have also how to play the common tiebreaker. Also with the extra time versus no extra time. And this happens because a lot of people, they don't know how to enter the scores when they're in a situation where they didn't complete the match. So let's say, for example, team A won 6-4, and team B, team A was down 5-4 at the end of regulation. And let's say that it was a no extra time club. So they had to play a deciding point to decide the set. And let's say that team A won the first set. Team A was down 5-4. At the end of regulation, they played the deciding point, and they win that point. So that means they won the match because they won the first set. And when you're entering the score will be entered 6-4, 5-5 time match. Now they said that it was the reverse, that the other team won. So then they will have to play, because then they split set, they will have to play one more extra point, deciding point to decide the match then. Oops. Another, especially with the COVID, and there are some clubs that they had the start, before 6:30, and there could be clubs that will, or captains, can you play at 5? Can you play at 6? So if it's not in your best interest, you don't have to start earlier. Let's say if it worked for you because you had something that you needed to do, say, okay, great, I will do it, but you don't have to agree to start the match earlier than 6:30. The matches need to be played between 6:30 and 10. So this happens more often now with some of the clubs closing earlier too. And this is league matches are unofficiated, and we have received several people that make the calls or they're not happy with the call that the opponents made. And per the framework court, this is making calls. Number 5, players make calls on their own side of the net, and all shot landings on or aim at the player's side of the net. So you don't want to be spending time arguing, especially when the matches are timed, when it's the opponent's call. You know, the person that received the ball, it's that's what stands. So it's better not to waste too much time and just keep the match going. So sportsmanship also remains an emphasis of USTA Adult League Tennis. Captains, they need to remind their players to treat their opponents with respect. And per the friendly court, like verbal abuse, swearing at official, not in this case official, but they sometimes to the opponents. And they can be very intimidating for, they say that it's a new player, that can be very intimidating. So just to remind them, you know, to practice good sportsmanship. And there's at the end here, there is also like a prayer kind of, you know, about sportsmanship. So it will be good to share that with your players. I mean, sometimes, you know, they make the other person insulting, you know, saying things that were not appropriate to the opponents. That is not fun to be playing someone like that. So, so this one, you know, would be more or less what I will call like link world, because it has a lot of links here. And that also that will be good just to save them separate. Like I have a folder that are just links, because it makes it easier just to find what I need to. So it has for the Eastern Mass regulations, the team commitment form, request to modify scorecard, reschedule a match, and so forth. So here is where you will make all the changes to you need to update your profile on Tennis League. You will have to log in to Tennis League, where it will say, you know, welcome and your name. And then here it will say manage account. You click on that. And then will be, you know, the account settings, the account settings, you click on that, it will bring you to another screen that I will show you. But I wanted to show you also, because some people have been asking how they can see the ratings of their teams and their players. If you put it here in find a rating, if you enter the team number of your team, you like, they say the mix 40, you will be able to see if your player, any of your players moved up or moved down. So it's here, you put the team number there. Now you want to see how your friends did. So you click in advanced search and then go through a drop-down menu. And then you will select, you can select Eastern Mass, because otherwise you will see New England. And they are listed in alphabetical order. And then you can see how your friends did. But for your team, specifically, just put your team number there. This is continuing with the, you know, what you want to do. You want to change the password or update the personal information. So you click on that. And then if it's the phone number, here's the information. And then you will click, the update. And if you have any question of what I'm saying or concerns like that, feel free to write the chat. We have operators standing by that will answer your questions. So let's go here. Did you ever need help finding players to join your team? So we have the team types. most of you, I noticed that chose the close seeking for players. That way, if someone is looking for a team, they can contact you to see, to join your team, and that person cannot join your team unless you give the team number to them. So you can ask, do you want, some people say, I want to, let's see, for a heating station, let's set some time aside for a heating station, so you can, go back and forth. So the person says, yeah, I know you, here is the team number. And then you can join the team. And then the other one is the open. This is someone that they're accepting, they will take anyone. And I recommend that will be, that is within close to your zip code. You don't want to take someone that is from the North Shore, then, west of Worcester, unless you want to travel. But this way you can join directly. You can, they can join the team, and that's another way that the captains, can find players. And the third one that I didn't put it here is the one that I send everyone when I send the team number, which is the players that are looking for team. That is another option that to get players, and they're sorted by the gender. Then at the bottom they have the different the labels. There's also information that they provide. I like singles, I don't like singles, I want to travel, I prefer mix, I prefer just the summer. So all that information that they give me, I put it there so you guys can decide, if you want to contact them. Beside their email address will be there too. So that's another way to find players. So this is the highlights of National USGA League regulation and year-end rating. The year-end ratings, Peter will talk, and the 10-day grace period. Peter will take it over.
Okay, yeah, the ratings this year are a little bit different than traditionally has happened. 2 years worth of data. The other thing, a lot more of this stuff was controlled and managed at the national level. Anyone who was going to get a year-end rating would have, or should have anyhow, received an email based on the email they have on their member record, and it would have told them, hey, the ratings just got published. They would have gotten that on December 1st. The other thing that's going to happen is anyone who moved up is going to also receive an email, I think, in a couple of days. I can't remember exactly the date, but that's the other thing that's coming out of national. 10-day grace period. If someone moved up and they're already playing on a team, they can play at their, I'm going to call it old level, until December 10th. And, any matches they play then are legitimate matches. If they're unable to appeal back to their roster rating after December 10th, then they have to play at their new rating. That's basically the thing. There are a couple other little things, like if you bumped up and you can no longer qualify for the team that you were on, but you find a new team at that higher level, then the section will reimburse you for the registration fee for that next team. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Christy, who's going to talk about the grievance procedures.
So we've had a couple of changes on the national level with the grievance procedures, and grievances still can be filed locally and with the section. The grievances have to be filed by a captain, but the biggest change is that any grievances that go through and are assessed points or sanctions, those actually are on a national scale now. So if you get 3 points for cursing out your opponent and it's gone through the grievance system, if you go to another section, you go to Florida, those 3 points go with you. If somebody gets suspended, the same thing. If you're suspended for 6 months in New England, you're suspended for 6 months all over the entire country. So this is something that's new. It's something that we're working with our grievance committees on to educate them on how to work through it. But the point system is now national, where it has typically been local and on the section level. So, and if you have any questions about the grievance system, let us know. But just know that anytime that those points go out, they now are national.
Okay. And maybe it doesn't seem that that many changes with the COVID thing going up and still around. You want to talk about the COVID?
Yeah, I want to mention one thing. Just like last year, it's the responsibility of the captains to continue to communicate with each other and with their home clubs and with their opposing teams when it comes to the guidelines. We are going by the club regulations. So if a club has a vaccine mandate, your players have to be vaccinated. There's no question. If somebody shows up and they're not let in, it's a default. It would be just like you didn't bring your tennis racket, you didn't bring your tennis shoes. So communication is the key here. The other part that has been decided by the section league committee and by section staff in 2021 championship year, we made a lot of concessions for COVID related issues in the regulations. We relaxed some things when it came to championships. We relaxed a few things. We're not doing that this year. We are back to strict regulations, no COVID related gimmies, I guess maybe is a good way to put it. But so the regulations that are in place for the section, for Eastern Mass, and for the championships are by the letter this year.
Yeah, I think, it's really important for the captains, like we'll talk about that later, when they confirm the match time, the location, and all the information before the match, because the clubs, they are all over the place. Some of them, they will have, mask mandate while playing, but a record of vaccination. Others are, they have to be vaccinated, but they're not asking for, I guess it's the honest system. And other, so it's better to check before, because there are different requirements from different clubs. And then the others will say, if you're vaccinated, it's optional if you want to wear a mask or not. And others, they have to wear a mask all the time. So just put this. So if you don't like a rule that and you would like to propose for a change, this is the proposal for rule changes by mail, by email, to have submitted by email to the local league coordinator by May 1st for review and consideration. So anything that you want to propose that to change the rules, so this is, there is a deadline for it, and it's May 1st, 2022. Make sure, that the players are registered before playing a match. If they're not registered before playing the match, it's a default, and it's a shame, if you win the match and then because they were not registered, you will lose that point. So it's always recommended to print the scorecard for the scores, the scorecards, because that way you can see who registered for the team. So you can do like a sanity check, okay, this person is playing and it's not registered. So just to avoid having someone to go and play and they're not registered. The registration fee is still $23 and the match fee is $20. And this is per player and per match. Like in a couple of weeks, we will be doing the schedule. And I want to remind everyone that once you receive that schedule and that is published, just check it. You can check it and with your club to make sure that there are no conflicts, because we can make the change as soon as you send us an email. We'll make the change right away and look, for the conflict, and we might have to move other things, but we make it work. So, but it's important is you have to let us know right away. Check for any conflicts. Yeah. We said the league leader was be notified of any errors or changes, because we can make mistakes too. So, and this is new for the 2022 season. And let's say, and this happens several times. If a club doesn't have the course book, the home club will default those positions that are not available, that they're not able to play because there were no courts, because they didn't book. They say they only booked 2 courts and they were supposed to be the 3 for some reason, and they gave one of the courts. So in that case, if they book 2 and 1 will be a default. Let's say that they only book 1 and they play 1 position, then they will play 1 more position at the opponent's club, and to make a legal match. So that's why it's important that you confirm with the match. That we'll talk that up also about the thing that you should do is confirm the match time with the clubs, and that make sure that they reserve the court. And then also, confirm with the other captain to let them know. But you need to check with the club to make sure that they've reserved the courts to avoid the defaults. So let's see here. So and this is one of the sections that I was talking about. It's the responsibility of both captains to make sure the match time and location is accurate. Communication between captain must be communicated no later than 48 hours prior to noon of the scheduled match. And before the match, both captains are responsible to confirm the date, the time, and the location. And the home captain must confirm with the club that the courts are reserved before confirming with the visiting captain to avoid what happened in the past. And also that you need to check if there extra time or no extra time. And if you read that document, once they tell you it's, let's say, no extra time, if you go back and read that document, it will refresh you of what you're supposed to do with the no extra time, so you guys don't spend time figuring out what to do when time is running out, because there are some clubs that there are people that are coming, and if it's no extra time, you have to play a deciding point to decide the second set, and if necessary, another deciding point to play the match. There's not much time to waste because they send the people to the court. So it's really important that you guys know if it's extra time or no extra time, and what will you do before in the event that you run out of time and the winner has not been declared. Also, their preferred method of payment. Some they don't take credit cards, and others, it was the BSC, and now they are not there, that they had to be credit card. But it's better to check with the clubs, with the captain, what is the preferred method of payment of the home club. Also, to check the facility with the COVID-19 protocols and policies, and the mask and vaccine policies. because it changes from club to club. Oops. So each match has a time of 1.5 hours. Then we mentioned that before, that is no earlier than 6:30 and no later than 10 p.m. Before the match starts, the captains need to ask the home club, how the end of time is signaled. Could be a bell, the club, or the court timer. So sometimes they have to use a phone or something, to tell time. But if a match must start later than the scheduled time, it will still be, the 1.5 hours. The team captains must exchange lineups for the entire team simultaneously before the start of the first match. By exchanging the lineup, it just avoids, a lot of confusion or a lot of problem. And this is because it has happened before, that the wrong people go to play the wrong people. We have a situation of one time the wrong team went to play the wrong team because there were other people, there were two teams playing at the same home at the same time. So the captains need to really exchange the lineup, and no substitution may be made in an individual match after the lineup exchange unless there is if the person gets injured in the warm-up. If you cannot be there as the captain, you must designate another player on the team to complete the lineup in their absence. Lineups are supposed to be exchanged by the captains and the designated captains prior to the start of the match. I know that with the COVID, they have been, the clubs, they have been asking for the names, and they take the names. I mean, you can give them the names, the piece of paper, these are the people that are going to be coming here to play. But it's not the responsibility of the staff. It's the responsibility of the captains to be exchanging the lineups. One captain enters the score and the other captain must confirm the score. Either captain, the one that gets to the computer first, can enter the score, and the other one can go later and confirm that they entered the wrong person or the wrong score. There's a form that to modify a scorecard with the match number and all that information, and they will make the correction. But either captain can enter the score. There's no such thing as because I was the home captain, and there's some captain that they feel I'm the home captain, you cannot enter the score. Either captain can enter the scores. So if you are, this is when you didn't play all the positions. It's like for the mix, you only play one position, and two are going to be rescheduled. You will fill out this form once you find out when you're going to be playing that position, that this is reschedule a match form, because you didn't get to play two, but you won't be able to enter the scores either, because it has to be out of 3 positions. At least 2 positions need to be played to be able to enter the score. So it will, tennis league will not let you enter just 1 position. So for that reason is that we need that form with a reschedule a match form, so we know when the other 2 positions are going to be played, because it will show on Tennis Link that is, that the match didn't get played, and the other captains start saying what happened with this match. This way we have this information, we can show that they play 1 position and they are playing this other position at this other time. So make-up matches for the holidays and rescheduled matches, plan ahead for matches that have to be rescheduled. Like I know for the mixed 40, I mean, people were really, really good, with the Thanksgiving and some of the holidays, they really rescheduled the matches, even this one now, because we scheduled matches for the 31st, and they were in advance. most of them, have rescheduled the matches to different days. You look at the schedule when it comes out, say, well, I won't be able to play Martin Luther King weekend or something like that, or any other holiday. Just start working on those holidays at the beginning of the season. It'll just make it a lot easier. So this one is here is I'm not going to read it, but it's the USTA player promise. It was not a prayer, it was a player promise. I think that last sentence, whether this match ends with my victory or defeat, I promise to conduct myself in a way that honors my opponents, my team, those who support me, and the game of tennis. And that's the end. If you guys have any question, and I think there is Lance, the chair of the Eastern Mass League committee. He donated 2 of, I think it's Starbucks certificates. Peter, did you pick a winner already? Do you guys have any questions about?
Okay, a question, Viola, just came through the chat. What dates do the 18 and over, 7-0 and 8-0 start in January?
The 7-0, they start the 7th, the 6-0, 8-0 start the 14th.
I know we have some new captains, and this is a lot of information, so please feel free to even come off mute if you want and ask any questions that you have, and let us know. We're here to really help and support you and make sure that this is an easy process for you guys and a good experience as we go.
A quick question, hopefully, about the availability of courts, and I didn't read the whole page about whether courts aren't available, when courts aren't available at the scheduled day and time. Can you agree with the other team to move a position if they're agreeable to that? Is that okay, or does it still have to be a default by the home club if they don't have courts available?
I think if the other captains agree, the other captain say, yeah, that's fine. But if the other captain doesn't agree, you will have to fill the full team.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and that's about the physical availability of a court rather than the availability of players themselves, right? I mean, both that need to be available, of course, but. All right, thank you.
Yeah. So the winners of the $10 coffee, it's Allison Taunton, and the other one I'm going to be I'm sure that I will not be able to pronounce your name. Wei Song. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one question regarding the time to match, and who makes that determination? Is it based on the club's rule, or is it based on the decision of 2 captains?
The match time, it's really the club is the one that determines what court they have available at certain times. The clubs are the one that determine the time.
Okay, thank you.
See, what happens though is the captains, they work with their clubs to make sure that the club is going to support them for the team. And so then Viola will use that time, put it into tennis length. I mean, if the 2 captains agreed for whatever reason to make a change to that, then they could talk to you, Viola, right? And you would make the change in tennis link. So as long as the captains in the club agree that it's a change, then you could make that change, correct?
You mean like I mean, it would be with the club, I said that they want prefer to play a certain time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so they were
Yeah.
gonna play at 6:30 and, you know, the captain said, gee, I'd rather play at 7. And they check with the club and the club says, yep,
Yeah.
7's available. That's not a problem.
Yeah, but most of the time, you know, the captains, they go to the clubs, you know, they say they want to play there, you know, and the court availability that they have. Yeah. Especially with the bigger clubs, they're a little bit more flexible. Like the Winchesters. Whether you have a time that you would like to play instead of the one that he gave you. Wei Song?
No, actually, my question is regarding whether there's an extra time or no extra time. If a match is timed to finish by a certain time, and how that decision was made is per club's rule, or for example, if a club has courts available for team to continue, and do they have to have the time the match or not?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's still the club if they have the extra time or no extra time. They're
Okay.
the decided most of the time because they book the courts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, understood.
So I think in your case, you know, with Winchester, you know, sometimes they're extra time, you know, and others don't. So it's better to check with, depending on when you play, check with Tom to see if there are extra time or no extra time.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I have another question. For the fee, $20 for each match, each individual pays. And does that include the fee for the tennis balls?
That's correct. Yes, include the
Okay.
balls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The last question, I promise.
No. Hey,
Are you going to send us the slides you presented today? There's some information which can be useful for us to refer to later on.
yeah, December 11th.
Okay, thank you.
You're going to send the slides on December 11th?
The flights. Oh, the slides. Oh, you said, I thought we were talking about the slides. The presentation.
Yeah, some link in the slides. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
referring
Because
to.
they want the links, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Dad, tomorrow, Christy?
Yeah, it usually takes me overnight to get the recording downloaded and make it a YouTube video. And so usually in the morning I can get it to Viola and then she can send out the recording and the slideshow with all the links included in it.
Yeah. There were some
That would
people
be great.
with the Mix 40, I think they were not able to click on the links when it was with the recording. So I ended sending the
Yeah, you've got to send the presentation as a separate attachment in order for them to be able to click on the links.
so they can listen to the meeting, but to get the presentation, I have to send it to them separately.
Right, for the links, yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so sorry, I just joined like a few minutes ago. I figured the time wrong. I thought it was 8 o'clock. Anyways, so I think the rule is that you change you change side on the odd number of games, right? Is the rule. But I found that if we when we play, if we switch to the other side after a set, usually save a little bit more time. So this is not the rule. Is it okay if the other team agree to that?
Not changing sides?
Yeah, changing side, you play the whole first set on one side
Yeah.
and then switch side on the second set.
Yeah, if everybody agrees to play in the same side, then they can play. But I think there was one, I don't know if still for the indoor, that if someone wants to switch sides, then everyone has to switch. Is that correct?
Yeah, since the regulation is that you switch sides, all 4 players have to agree not to switch sides.
Yeah.
If one person wants to switch, you have to switch because that's the regulation.
Okay, so needs to have everyone's, concurrence on
Mhm.
that. Okay, because I there was one time that I played one match. It was like, I don't know how, but seems like we run out of time so early. So since then, I almost every time, if I could, I asked the other side to do that, play the whole entire set before we switch. I don't know if that helps, but in theory it shouldn't, because every odd games you probably will go take a water break anyways, right? You walk a few more steps to the other side, that's it. But it did save some time too. So so that solved some problem that I have, like could not fit, I cannot finish the match on time.
Yeah, just make sure that all of that discussion is upfront and at the very beginning so that there's no conflict later on how it's done.
Okay.
Because if it ever goes to any kind of a complaint / grievance / anything along that lines, we go by the regulations.
All
So
right.
yeah, just make sure everybody's aware of that. So
Okay. Yeah,
I
got
think
it.
the majority of they don't switch side because of the same, to save some time. But there are people that they like to switch side because it can be different. The lighting can be different in the other side. So
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
you see.
Lance wants to remind everybody to keep your warm-ups to 10 minutes. So, and 90 seconds on the changeover with no water break after the first game. Yeah, make the warm-up to 10 minutes is really important. I think sometimes we all get a little lax on that, and that does really make an impact, especially in the clubs that have no extra time, that are the ones that are really strict. So yeah, keep an eye on the time for the warm-up and on your changeovers.
It's better to use that extra time in the match than warming up, because you might need it. Well, if there are no other question, we'll send the recording, and then I will send the presentation to everyone so they can click on the links. Okay. And I wish you all a very happy season.
Yeah. Before we finish, Viola,
Huh?
before we finish, and in case there are any questions, can we follow up with you or somebody at the USTA in the near future?
You mean, yeah.
Okay.
You can always follow up with Viola.
Yeah.
You can go straight to her. And if it's somebody else that needs to be linked in, she'll go ahead and let you know and contact that person.
Yeah, I know this is obvious answer, but just like to ask to confirm it. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Anytime you have any question, just feel free to call or email me or text me.
Thank you very much.
I got my first text through the new dial pad today.
On our new phone system, yes.
The new assistant, yeah. Which is good.
Yeah, for you guys that have been around for a while, don't forget that Viola has a new phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for popping on. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording.